Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of DDTS. Welcome to DDTS 793. I'm back with another video. Thank y'all for joining me. And today is June the 22nd, 2026. Happy Monday, everybody. And today we're gonna be doing today is gonna be an episode of a review on the new Michael Jackson movie. I got an opportunity to watch it last night. I got an opportunity to watch it last night, and I wanted to do this review. But I will go ahead and say this though, as I was watching it, I was actually studying. I was studying the movie. I was doing homework, watching the movie good, looking up stuff within the movie, looking up the movie and stuff on Google and stuff like that, and plots and stuff. Because you know what I said? I said, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for me to do a review on this movie. And this is one of the biggest movies of 2026. Well, one of the biggest movies of 2026. And I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this review because I really enjoyed it. And it is some things within the movie that I really found sad, and there's a lot of things in the movie that I found interesting, and there's a lot of things in the movie that I really find very suspicious. A couple of things suspicious, and I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. But first, if you have not yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you will get notified when I have new videos available. So today we're going to be doing a review on the Michael Jackson movie 2026. And I cannot wait to do this with y'all because I've been wanting to do this movie since I got done watching it last night. And at the end it says the legacy continues. So it is alleged that it might be another part to the movie, or they might be doing another add-on to the movie. And I will say this, as watching the movie late last night, I will say this, and I can confirm that it is a lot of parts in the movie that was not shown. Like, it is a lot of parts in the movie that was not shown. There was a lot of people that we thought that was going to be in the movie that was not in the movie. And we're going to get into that in a little bit as well. Hold on one second. Hey y'all, I'm back. You might hear another interruption from me as well because I have to do a clock out. But yes, I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm so excited to be able to do this video for y'all today. So it might be uploaded today. It might be uploaded tonight because I have another event and another live that I will be participating in and supporting. From the SIP, who is one of my dearest friends, has been my friend, my best friend for 5 years. He will be doing a Mental Health Monday episode on his channel and podcast, and he will be doing a discussion talking about men within mental health, why it's important for men that have been struggling with mental health to speak out. Why are men in general, why are black men, why are men in general so silent when it comes to mental health? Be sure to tune in because I know for a fact that I would definitely be there because it's truly an important topic and it's something that really needs to be discussed. I will say that From the SIP is truly an amazing friend of mine, and he is truly one of my favorite content creators, and he's truly one of the best. when he did his live Wednesday, Wind Down Wednesday, he spoke up on something similar to that. And let me tell you, he broke it down and he provided some of the most touching and some of the most heartfelt and some of the most realist stuff that you could ever provide in opinions. So from the SIP, if you're watching this, listening to this, or this and that and the third, whichever or you see on the screen, I want to thank you so very much. And if y'all have not followed my best friend from the SIP, please follow his YouTube channel, subscribe, and everything. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And I hope he's not mad that I gave him a shout out, but yeah. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So I can honestly say how the video started. It started like when he was real young. It started when they was the Jackson 5 back in 1966. This is when their daddy, Joe Jackson, would literally have them rehearsing and practicing very much and hard and everything, and trying to get them gigs and everything. And my honest opinion is this: like, if they got anything wrong, and if y'all have watched the Michael Jackson movie, and if y'all have followed Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, the Jackson family in general over the decades and decades and decades, you can basically and allegedly and truthfully say that Joe Jackson, he will literally build up this mean streak. Like, he allegedly and truthfully had this mean streak. So when we think about it and when we look back on it, I noticed something. I noticed in the movie, and I noticed in reality, and I've heard in reality, all the Jackson 5 brothers, it was Marlon, Tito, Jermaine, Randy. It's Marlon, Tito, Jermaine, Randy. So we're going to go with the Jackson 4. We're going to exclude Michael for a second. We're going to let Michael sit this one out, okay? So you got Marlon, Jermaine, Tito, Randy. You got those 4 boys, right? 4 brothers. So now, when you think about it, they pretty much didn't get punishment. They pretty much didn't get whoopings. They pretty much didn't get the rough end of the stick like Michael did. Because every time when you would think about it, allegedly, I might be wrong, but in the movie that I watched last night, every time Michael would mess up, he would get a whooping by Joe. He would get that belt and whoop him. The movie that I watched last night, let me tell y'all something. It was a scene when they all was in the living room. You got the mama, Captain Jackson. You got all the brothers there: Jermaine, Randy, Tito, Marlon. You got all them, and you got Captain Jackson. So Michael allegedly and truthfully messes up a beat or this and that and the third. So what happens? Joe Jackson gets out his belt and he just started whooping. And oh my goodness, he was tearing that back up. Like, he was literally beating the world and beating the hell out of Michael Jackson's back with that belt. You can hear him hollering. And I was like, oh my goodness. Look, I was like, damn, look at his back. I know his whips on that back. Like, literally, that's what I said last night. And I'm going to say this. I read and I did a lot of studying and I did a lot of homework. And I can remember on occasions that, Joe Jackson allegedly said, like in the movie The Jackson 5 An American Dream, which was made in 1992, he said, like, the reason he done, his children like that because his daddy done it to him, his father done it to him. So I guess he felt like it's okay for what his father did to him to do it to his kids. Like, he takes his anger and he takes his problems from what his daddy did to him out on his kids. And I guess that's mean hard work and dedication, pretty much. Hold on, y'all. Hey y'all, I'm back. So yeah, that's what I believe. Joe Jackson's daddy, done the same thing to him. So I'm guessing he thought doing it to his kids would be even better, which I really don't think so. Now, it is some alleged tea regarding Joe Jackson and his kids, allegedly and truthfully. Now, they did not mention this in the movie, but I'm going to go ahead and put some alleged tea out there. Now, it is alleged that Joe Jackson had an outside child while he was still with Catherine Jackson. The child is allegedly like 50 years old now, I believe. That is alleged, and it is alleged that Joe Jackson could have allegedly been touching and being inappropriate with one of his quote-unquote kids, meaning the daughters. Meaning, allegedly, it is Natoya, because Natoya actually got on an interview and she actually got on the show, and she basically was telling a little bit of it, and I could remember, but Natoya said that her mama, Miss Catherine Jackson, told Joe Jackson, no, Joe, not tonight, this and that and the third. But yeah, that is alleged. But let's go ahead and get back to the movie, because I don't know much about that, but that is alleged, and I just wanted to put that out there. Now, back to the movie, back to the scene when Joe Jackson, literally, whooped Michael Jackson. Whooped him with that belt. So you got Captain Jackson just sitting there. You got her saying, "Not Joe, stop, Joe. That's enough." This and then the third, because you know how, Miss Captain Jackson was portrayed, and it made me think about something very, 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 wild too. Could it have been that the main reason Captain Jackson didn't too much say anything when Joe Jackson was whooping Michael or any of his kids allegedly was because maybe she was getting beaten herself? Could it have been that she was allegedly getting beaten on or mistreated, this and that and the third? Allegedly, I'm just saying allegedly because I really don't know. But if you have followed the Jackson family through the years, you can honestly say that it has been a lot of stuff regarding the family that they have to withstand. So yeah. So after that, in the movie, you got when they had got a gig, they went somewhere in the movie and they was performing, and because Gladys Knight and the Pips was performing on the movie, and Gladys Knight introduced the Jackson 5, and after that, they started singing very good. They started singing, "You Never Can Say Goodbye." I Never Can Say Goodbye. That was the name of the song. I Never Can Say Goodbye. And as they was performing, as Michael Jackson was singing, you would not believe who they met. They met Suzanne D. Pass. Suzanne D. Pass was a woman who was connected and worked with Berry Gordy. So Suzanne D. Pass was standing right next to Joe Jackson in the movie, and Joe Jackson said, "You like my boys? You like my boys? How you think they did?" And she was like, "They did very good. My name is Suzanne D. Pass." And so if they hadn't met Suzanne D. Pass, they never wouldn't have met Berry Gordy, And a lot of the hits and a lot of the fame wouldn't have gotten the way it have gotten if they hadn't done that event. But one thing I will say, I think the thing is, and this is just my honest opinions because I've been giving my opinions within this whole movie. I will say this though, just in case I forget, I'm going to say this. Joe Jackson might have done what he did. He literally, he overworked those kids. He overworked his kids because he wanted them to achieve success. And I'm not excusing it. I'm not gonna, I'm not excusing for the actions that he did. I'm not doing it. But he literally overworked them. He worked them to a while, like they literally could rest. And what I noticed in the movie, I really felt like Joe Jackson, even though that there was the daddy, they didn't call him dad, they called him Joseph. So, and they called Catherine mother, but they didn't call Joe daddy or father, they called him Joseph. And this is what I came to the conclusion with. I really felt like, Joe might have did what he did, but at the end of the day, through it all, Michael Jackson was the only one out that group that became more successful, that became well known, that achieved a lot of greatness, and that, was managed to go solo and still overcome a lot of obstacles. And I'm going to go ahead and say that because the other brothers, they was more chasing after the women and the fame, and they had a couple of things that they had to go through, that they went through as well. Because one of them married one of Berry Gordy's daughters. I don't know which brother it was. But the thing of the matter is, what I'm trying to say is the movie actually centered around Michael Jackson. And I love the fact that it did. Because, again, some of the parts of the movie were left out. And I can respect that. And I can honestly understand why a lot of it will be left out. Because it's all about Michael. It's all about how he got started. It's all about how he was able to achieve greatness. It's all about all the things that he went through in his life, So back to the review again. I kind of got off a little topic, but I'm getting back. So after Joe Jackson and the Jackson 5 meets Suzanne DePaz, they meet Berry Gordy, and that's when Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, got in the booth, where Michael got in the booth, and another hit was made, Give Me One More Chance. And that song became a phenomenon, and it's still popular to this very day. And I will say this though, even though it was the Jackson 5, but I'm going to be honest with you. If we're going to be honest with you, Michael Jackson carried the Jackson 5. Joe Jackson might have put that band together. He might have worked them hard. He might have, punished them or did what he did. But I will say this. I will give this to Joe Jackson. If he hadn't put that group together, the Jackson 5, and they was in Gary, Indiana. They was born in Gary, Indiana. If he hadn't put that group together, we wouldn't have never heard of the Jackson 5. We wouldn't have never heard of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson wouldn't have been big the way he is to this very day. And so when they got to the recording studio, Michael Jackson meets Berry Gordy. And then that's when the song comes, Oh Baby Give Me One More Chance. And that became very well known in other songs. So that was an amazing thing as well. And I really love that. Now, let me go ahead and put this in there because I forgot I forgot to include this. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I don't know what happened to my uh I don't know what happened to my camera. I don't know what happened to my recording, but I have to start over. So before I forget, the Michael Jackson movie, which I should have included in the beginning, the Michael Jackson movie started his nephew, Javar Jackson, Nia Long, um, Jalindo Vardy, um, Kaylin Durrell Jones, Laura Hera, Jessica Sula, Mike Myers, Miles Teller, and Coleman Domingo. That's who the movie started. And yes indeed, that's who started in the movie. And I will say this, Nia Long, the nephew of Michael Jackson, Javar Jackson, and Coleman Domingo, they did an extraordinary job. And I just had to put that out there. So when you think about it, again, if it wasn't for Joe Jackson putting that group together, if it wasn't for Joe Jackson making the boys, his kids, rehearsing, doing this and then the third, we would have never heard of the Jackson 5. We would have never heard of Michael Jackson. We would have never heard of any of the groundbreaking hits that they had back in the day and that is still popular to this very day. Now, in the movie, you can basically and allegedly say that Michael Jackson had an very special bond with his mama, Catherine Jackson. Like, they'll be sitting down, eating popcorn, eating ice cream, watching little thriller movies and having their little talks. And I truly, truly, truly love that, because not too many sons and not too many mamas will have that type of bond together, and I truly love that. And in the movie, we basically seen some of the things that we've heard in the media and some of the things that Michael Jackson did as a child. So yeah, so it was kind of like when they was in Gary, Indiana in 1966. They I think they moved to Los Angeles in 1968. It was the time frame. They just skipped along because, again, like what I said earlier, they didn't put a lot of things in the movie. And I'm going to honestly say this. The reason that they possibly did not put everything in the movie is because they was trying to circle around Michael Jackson's career. They was trying to circle about and around how he got started, what went next, the important events, and I understand that. And I can honestly go back and say, when I did a video on the Michael Jackson movie before it came out, what we could at least expect, what we could not expect. Remember when I did that video? I think I done 2 videos on that. But remember when I said what we could at least expect and not expect. Again, I think I did a video when I said Janet Jackson, like, she was in the media. She allegedly said and truly said that she did not want to be a part of the movie. She did not want to be portrayed in the movie because she really felt like the movie is about her big brother Michael, and I agree with her. The movie basically and allegedly circled around Michael, how he got started in his career in this and then the third. And I'm going to try to get everything out of everything in this video. And if I forget anything, I'll come back and probably add some more stuff to it. I'm just going to say that in this as a May. And I will say this, like, we didn't see Diana Ross portrayed in the movie. We didn't see Smokey Robinson. We didn't see a lot of peoples regarding Motown in the movie. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this. The reason that Diana Ross allegedly And I'm gonna keep saying allegedly because that's the safest thing to do and respectfulest thing to do in my opinion. Now it is alleged. Now the reason Diana Ross was in the movie. Now if you follow Michael Jackson and Diana Ross news over the years, this and then the third, it is said and alleged that Diana Ross could have possibly groomed Michael Jackson. It is alleged that Diana Ross, the boss Diana Ross, could have possibly groomed Michael Jackson. Because if you ever thought about it, in Michael Jackson's younger days, when he got the opportunity to sing with Diana Ross, him being a kid, him getting in his teenage years, that Michael Jackson absolutely loved and adored and worshipped the ground that Diana Ross walked on. Michael Jackson loved it. Diana Ross so much, allegedly, it is said that Michael Jackson basically, wanted to get his face done like Diana. Now that is alleged, but in the movie, Michael Jackson, he had like a skin issue and problem that he, was not in his control. And so he started complaining that his nose was too big. So what does he do? He gets a nose job. He has surgery to get his nose probably reduced and trimmed down because he felt like it was too big. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? Joe Jackson, his daddy, got a big nose. Michael Jackson got a big nose. So maybe he felt like if he got, work done on it, he'll basically see a difference. And I'm sorry if I'm skipping around. I kind of got off key. But I'm just doing a review on the movie. And I really love the movie. And I'm going to go ahead and basically tell y'all, again, like what I said I was going to do. I was going to tell y'all some of the suspicious things of the movie. Scene of the movie that I found suspicious that just does not add up with me. And you can basically tell a lot, because I'm going to get into that in a little bit. And I will say this. I truly loved the movie. It wasn't like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give the movie a good review. But I'm going to also finish telling y'all what I thought about the movie in general. But I'm going to give the movie a great review because I really loved it. Like, they started it from 1966 and they ended it in 1988. That's the far as he went. Started it in 1966, ended it in 1988. So basically, we pretty much got like 18 good, amazing years that we saw in the movie of Michael Jackson. Like the movie basically circled around him. Now the movie, The Jackson 5 and American Dream, that basically circled around him and his family. But this circled around the movie 2026. This circled around Michael Jackson. I love it. And let me tell y'all something else. What I love about the movie, like his nephew, Jafar Jackson, let me tell y'all something. When I tell y'all Michael Jackson's nephew, Jafar Jackson, looked just like Michael Jackson, and I was like, you know what? I believe they did a swap or something that we don't know about. I believe they had to do a swap or something because Jafar Jackson looked just like Michael Jackson when he was portraying him. Had the moves down and everything. I'm like, wow, that had to be an emotional, bittersweet, and legendary moment for Jafar Jackson to portray his late uncle, Michael Jackson, who died on June the 25th, 2009, which is approaching. We'll be seeing Michael Jackson's 17th year anniversary of his passing, 18th year anniversary of his passing. So yes, that's still heartbreaking and shocking to this very day. When I tell y'all the genes in that family is so strong, it's literally strong. So yeah, so he gotten his nose did. Joe Jackson was the first person to notice Michael Jackson's surgery upon his nose. And I'm going to say this also, we also got the parts that we saw that the love that Michael Jackson had for the love that he had for what was it? The love that he had for animals. And he asked his mama, he was like, can we do this? Can we do that? Can I get some pets? Can I have some pets? Something like that. I forgot what he asked his mama. He was like, can I get some pets? Can I have some pets? And his mama, at first, that was eating ice cream. She was like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He was like, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. And he was basically telling his mama, he was like, they're his friends and they can understand him in ways that other people can't. And she was like, I can agree with that and I can understand that. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's a lot of things and certain peoples and certain things that, you know, you can understand, and then again, you can't. Like, it's certain peoples that can understand you, and then again, it's certain peoples that can't. Certain peoples can relate to you, certain peoples can't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing that's what Michael Jackson was allegedly telling his mama and saying to his mama, understandably. So I will put it in that aspect, this and that and the third. I'm just going to be honest. So, yes. So I'm just going to put it like that. So as he got older and as he got famous and everything, and I will tell you this, what I also saw in the movie, what I loved about it. And it made me thought about some of these celebrities that we have now. Within everything that Michael Jackson was going through, in the movie it showed that Michael Jackson went to visit sick kids that had cancer, kids that had disabilities. It did not matter what they had. Every time you seen Michael Jackson, he was going out visiting sick kids with cancer and everything, actually sit with them and talk with them and everything. And that's amazing, because I honestly believe, truthfully, that Michael Jackson, he loved the kids and he loved doing what was right. You know, he was truly one of the best that there was to do it. So, and I also want to say this to half of these celebrities. Like Michael Jackson, he went and seen the kids. Like, this is my question. Whatever happened to the celebrities? Whatever happened to the celebrities that used to go visit the sick kids? They used to go visit the homeless, the helpless and everything. Whatever happened to the celebrities that when celebrities used to go visit the sick kids and the people's in need? You do not see that now. You don't actually see them flying out, visiting, you know, sick kids and their fans and stuff. What they do now, because social media and technology and everything else is so advanced now, you know what they do? They would rather send money and they would rather send flowers and cards and this and that and the third. Not that there is nothing wrong with that, but the difference of the matter is when you see a person face to face visiting them that's in need and they're a fan of yours, I really feel like, hey, if you can have the opportunity, if you can have the time to send that money, and you can have the time to send those cards and send those donations. You can have the time to fly or drive or ride the train, this and that and the third, to go visit the peoples in need. Michael Jackson did not care about that. He went and he visited those kids, and they truly admired him. You had young kids, old kids, young men, young women, old men, old women. Everyone around the world, they loved it, Michael Jackson. And I will say this, and as Michael Jackson got old enough, he got his dream, and he got a friend by the name of Bubbles. And that scene really warmed my heart because Bubbles really did like Michael Jackson. Like, I loved it, the relationship. And everybody in the movie, they was just stunned at first. But, you know, it was truly an amazing thing and scene and everything. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that. It was truly an amazing opportunity, pretty much. I know, I'm trying to reminisce everything about what I watched in the movie, but it was truly an amazing movie. I'm definitely going to give that a 10 because I really loved the movie, and it said allegedly that another part was supposed to come back on. They're going to be making another part. So I'm guessing they're going to pick up from 1988 to 2009 or this and that and third when they start back. Or maybe they're going to, you know what I'm saying? Because he really looked up to James Brown. And James Brown was Michael Jackson's idol. This and that and third. And I want to go ahead and talk about this in the movie as well. And I will also be pulling up something that I made a post about regarding the movie, and that's probably going to finish it off right there. But I'm going to say this. What I was going to say was Michael Jackson was in an interview. He was talking to his associates. He was talking to his businessmen about his albums, about his music, this and that and third. And that was basically like, you got to fire Joe. You got to fire your father. You got to fire your daddy. So Michael Jackson didn't fire Joe Jackson to the face. He basically sent him a fax. And that's how Joe Jackson found out that he was fired. Now, as much as I love and I respect Coleman Domingo, when I tell you he literally got the Joe Jackson look down, the look on Joe Jackson's face when he found out that he was fired by his own son, Michael Jackson. And then he's going to go to Catherine Jackson, his wife, and say, he fired me. Just wait till I get my belt for him. And then this is what Catherine Jackson, the mother of Michael Jackson, Tito Jackson, Randy Jackson, Marlon Jackson, Reba Jackson, Randy Jackson, and Janet Jackson, and Latoya Jackson said. Catherine Jackson put down her foot and she said this. What you gonna do, Joe? Beat him? You can't do it no more. You can't do it. And if you don't like it, you can just leave. And that's exactly what she told Joe Jackson. And the look on Joe Jackson's face was priceless. Because he knew from a shadow of a doubt that he could not control Michael. He knew from a shadow of a doubt that he couldn't control any of his kids anymore. Because you know why? Because they had gotten grown. They had made their own decisions. And they pretty much has left. So once Joe Jackson went to Michael and this and that and the third, Michael was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm gone. He got mad and he left. He was like, just drive. He told his security guard or whatever, the guy that was with him all the time, said, just drive. Michael had enough and he just left Joe Jackson. He left him. He had enough. He said, just drive. Joe Jackson got mad to the point, which is what I'm about to say. Y'all might get mad at me. Y'all might be like, now, I cannot believe that. But I'm going to go ahead and say this, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. I believe, allegedly, that Joe Jackson had something to do with Michael Jackson's commercial incident when he was doing the Pepsi commercial. They also showed that in the movie. When Michael Jackson did the Pepsi commercial, I absolutely allegedly believe that Joe Jackson has something to do with it. I have a feeling that Joe Jackson planned that. Because when Michael was doing the commercial, I don't know how that fire got on his head, but that fire, his hair caught on fire, and it basically got to his scalp, and he was hollering and everything. And so after that incident, they showed in the movie when he was in the hospital, right? So when they showed Michael Jackson and all the family members was at the hospital, can you believe what came out of Joe Jackson's mouth? The thing that came out of Joe Jackson's mouth was this, and it literally pissed me off, and it literally had me thinking, you don't give a damn about your child. You don't give a damn about your son, is if he's going to live or is he's going to depart this earth at the moment. The thing that Joe Jackson said really made me so mad, and this is what he said. Will he be able to perform? He got concerts. Will he be able to perform? Will he be able to do this? Will he be able to do that? I'm like, damn, bruh. Your child is literally in the hospital. Your child just literally got burnt and suffering for some severe burns, and all your no-neck Popeyes self can think about is, will he be able to perform? Will he be able to perform? That's why you got fired right there, because you doing all that mess right there. That's why you got fired, Joe. That's why you got fired. He's worrying about the damn money. He's worrying about this. He's worrying about that. Neither do he know that his son fired him. The whole company fired him. Joe Jackson was worried about the wrong thing, honestly. Like, literally, he was. And I'm like, I just don't understand, like, why? Why? And that's just my honest opinion. Yeah. But I truly loved the movie. And I also wanted to add this in, y'all. Then I'm going to add the other part that I posted on Facebook, and I'm going to talk about that with y'all as well. That's the part about the suspicious thing, about what I wanted to talk to y'all about that burn situation when Michael Jackson got burned. I really felt, and it is alleged, I really felt like Joe Jackson had something to do with it. It wouldn't surprise me if he did, because he wanted to get back at Michael Jackson for firing him and from, messing up his plan to have that money coming in, this and that and the third. But, sir, you have an outside child, allegedly, that you had when you was married to Catherine. And I don't blame Catherine for how she retaliated, how she did in the movie. But let me tell y'all something. I bet y'all didn't know this. Let me ask y'all something. Did y'all know that the Thriller video came from the movies that he watched with his mama, Thriller? Because they always was watching Thriller movie. That's where the laugh came from. That's what the video Thriller came from. That's where it came from. Him watching Thriller movies, and that's why they call the song Thriller, among with other things. And I'm like, wow, that did not occur to me till now. I'm like, wow, this is truly amazing and one of the best. Yes, indeed. I truly enjoyed it and loved it. So, yeah. But as we come to an end, I wanted to talk about this, what I posted on Facebook. 1 second. So yeah, I made a post on Facebook. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna post it on the media and let y'all see for yourselves. But yeah, I liked it, the Jackson movie, the Michael Jackson movie. I think it was pretty good. And I love the way that it circled around Michael Jackson. I'm going to say this because I'm going to have to put this on here. I'm going to have to put this out there. Joe Jackson, he had to realize that he had to let go. Yes, he done what he did when he put that group together, when he put the Jackson 5 together. But it was because of Michael Jackson's talent. And it was because of Michael Jackson where they got to where they are. Because Michael Jackson, he was the talent. He was the group. He carried biggest of the group. People's wanted Michael Jackson. Yes, it was the Jackson 5. Yes, they was the background singers. But Michael is the one that carried all of that. Yes, Joe Jackson, he might have did what he did. Punished them, whooped them, beat them, or this or that and the third. Worked them to death. But I will say this, if he because of that, I'm guessing that's what got them to be where they are. But Michael Jackson is the real star, in my opinion. Y'all might not agree with me, and that's totally fine. But that's how I see it. So honestly, Joe Jackson, he didn't have the talent. He didn't have the talent. He didn't have the voice. He didn't have none of that. It was Michael that was everything. And maybe because the main reason that he basically, allegedly and truly, the reason that he basically beat on Michael, whooped him, punished him, all this and that and the third all the time was because he knew what Michael was. He knew Michael was different than all of them. Like Captain Jackson allegedly said in the movie, he knew that he was different than all of them. Talented, was going to make it out there in the world famously and everything. So that I can honestly say. But my review and my honest opinion about the movie is that I'm going to give it a 10 because it was truly amazing. Even though we did get to see 18 years of Michael Jackson, and I love how the movie was centered around him versus the other films that we have saw in the past. But I think this is the film that really let it all out there. And I cannot wait to see the next continuation of the Michael Jackson movie story. And before I end this video, I just got word, and this is some upcoming news, and it is very, 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 very shocking. It is with sadness to a couple of peoples. It is with sadness that I announce the passing of music montage and music record producer Clyde Davis has passed away at the age of 94 today. And I will be doing a video on Clyde Davis, basically elaborating on some of the things that he have done and his lifespan and everything. So yeah, but yes, Clyde Davis has passed away at the age of 94. So that's going to be my review of the Michael Jackson movie 2026. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and do not forget to subscribe. And I will see y'all on the next video. And this was episode DDTS 793, the Michael Jackson movie review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please do not forget to tune in to my best friend from the SIP Mental Health Monday podcast episode, live episode, panel episode of Men with Mental Health, live discussion. Please don't forget to tune in. And if y'all haven't, please subscribe to his channel. And thank y'all for joining me. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Till next time, love y'all. Bye-bye.